What's going on YouTube? This is Ozzy right here from Gotham Rouges. This is my channel, FATT, Fantasy All the Time, where we bring to you fantasy football all year long. This is the review for week two of the first round of the playoffs. Taco Corp versus Magic Man. Taco Corp got on a big lead on the first week, but Magic Man was able to bring it in and win by a hefty 12 points. So let's check out. We're only going to review the first and the two first round winners and the two winners of the consolation bracket. We're only going to do those reviews. So this is the first one. So Magic Man did win. On the winners bracket, both weeks were brought into consideration. In the losers bracket, since there was so many people in the losers bracket, we did the two outcomes didn't matter. It was more like a elimination bracket, so kind of thing. So if that makes sense, well, hopefully it makes sense. All right, so let's check out what we did here. What happened here? All right, so Magic Man, he was able to do exactly what I predicted in week two. What I predicted he was going to do in week one. He was able to be carried by Freeman and Ezekiel Elliott. So they went off for 53 points. That's about half, a little bit under half of the total points that his team scored. 21 points out of his defense saved him. Big time saved him. He left quite a bit of points on his bench. 20 points for Ryan Matthews and 11 points for Sterling Shepard. I really like Sterling Shepard. I drafted him at the beginning of the year. I kind of gave up on him a little early. He will be very sought after next year in next year's drafts. I believe he's going to end the year with at least 10 touchdowns and about 600 yards, 600 to 800 yards. So hopefully, if that happens, maybe next year he becomes a little bit more of an option in the passing game with New York. And with the double teams that Odell gets, he might be able to even double that or increase on those numbers next year, which is going to be really hard to increase from 10 touchdowns, which he's on pace to do so. All right, so enough of that. Let's see what happened here. Larry Fitzgerald was not able to take advantage of Michael Floyd being missing, and they did quite a bit of scoring, but Larry Fitzgerald did not do anything. Rashard Matthews, 8 points. Travis Kelce, 4 points. Greg Olsen, 8. Going into the Monday night game, Taco Corp still had Jamison Crowder, and I believe he had Robert Kelly, and he also had, what did he have? He had Robert Kelly, Jamison Crowder, and that was it, I think. Yeah, I think that was it. So yeah, so he still had a chance. He had a big chance to win, but he was not able to take advantage of it. He got a good performance out of DeMarco Murray. That was about it. 12 points out of Gostkowski and 11 points out of Frank Gore. That guy is just showing that if you just stay healthy, you could play for many, many years in the league. All right, Robbie Anderson, 14 points on his bench, and Joe Flacco, 12 points. So not enough to make a difference. So hopefully Magic Man can ride out this winning streak here and win the big bucks in the next 2 weeks. All right, let's check out what Garza and Steven did. All right, so Christine Michael versus Super Fat YouTube channel. So Garza's giving me a lot of support on the YouTube channel. I appreciate that, Garza, but he was not able to get a win, so it kind of sucks. All right, so he lost to Christine Michael. His name used to be Dr. Grontopus or something like that. Grontopus. On week 14, he had a 3-point lead, 68-71. On week 15, he was only able to score 66 points to Christian Michael's 86 points, so to a total of 154 to 138. Even though he had home field advantage, that 1 point was not enough to get the win. All right, so let's check out what Christian Michael did. 20 points out of Carson Palmer, 13 points out of Jonathan Stewart, David Johnson 22 points, Deshaun Jackson 11 points, 0 points out of Jordan Reed, 1 point out of Brandon Marshall. That was horrible, but it did not affect the game much. Tevin Coleman 5, Giants defense 9, and Santos 5. On his bench, he left 19 points with Dak Prescott, so that wouldn't have mattered, and 14 points with Alshon Jeffrey, which would have been a big difference, but nonetheless, he still won. All right, let's check out what Garza did. Super Fat YouTube support Fat YouTube channel. The only players that scored in double digits for him was his defense and his kicker. 12 points out of Raiders and 10 points out of the kicker from Washington. He left 13 points for Kevin Brate on the bench. and 14 points with Tyrell Taylor and 10 points with Christian Michael, which is crazy. That guy is he's been on, this is a 13 team he's on this year. No, second team he's on this year, and he managed to get a touchdown, so it's pretty good. All right, so Kirk Cousins 9 points, very underperforming game. Spencer Ware 8 points. Todd Gurley is just doing a horrible second year, sophomore slump he's in. Mike Evans 5 points, which is very bad because he's one of the top wide receivers in the league. T.Y. Hilton 4 points, very bad because he's one of the top 10 players in the league. Kyle Rudolph 9, Mike Wallace 6. So yeah, so it's gonna be Christian Michael versus Fernando Magic Man in the finals. So let's check out what happened in the fifth place consolation bracket. All right, so let's check out what happened here. It was me, the never-ending changing rules. It's an inside joke. Me and George were making fun of all the rule changes we were trying to do throughout the year to better fantasy b-ball. This is the Harambe's. He changed his name about 3 or 4 times that day. We were talking a lot of mess to each other throughout the whole game. All right, so again, only week two's points are being taken into consideration. So that's 81 points by my team to his 70. I was able to get a good game out of Andrew Luck for 18 points, 12 points out of Taylor Gabriel, and 12 points out of Tyreek Hill. I left both of those guys on my bench last week, so it was they scored a lot on my bench last week, so that kind of sucked. But check out my bench. I scored 90 points on my bench, 28 points Ty Montgomery, 19 points Tyler Lockett, 10 points Cameron Meredith, 16 points Jarvis Landry, 9 points Kenneth Dixon, and 8 points Mark Ingram. Almost everybody on my bench could have been a better starter than anybody I started. All right, so 5 points Carlos Hyde, 3 points Thomas Rawls, Antonio Brown 5, Hunter Henry, probably the only good start I did, 9 points. I don't have a second tight end, and 2 points Jets, and 7 points my kicker. All right, so let's see what the Harambe's better at fantasy b-ball, what he did. 9 points out of Matthew Stafford, 14 points out of Miller, 15 points out of Powell. That was really good. A very good pickup, but it wasn't enough. 2 points from Matthews and Williams, 1 point out of Gates. So Hunter Henry and Gates are in the same team, and they play the same position. So Hunter Henry got the touchdown, so that's probably the difference maker right there. Sammy Watkins 1 point, and Eagles defense 7, and Dan Bailey 13 to a total of 70 points. So I was able to win, and I'm still in running for 5th place, which will be I break even, and I don't have to pay up anything on fantasy dues because I'll just literally be paying myself. All right, so let's check out what George did against Eric. All right, so the Suicide Squad versus Team Moreno. Again, we're only looking at the week 2 scores, week 15 scores. So it's 102 to 75. Suicide Squad, Drew Brees 29 points, Le'Veon Bell 12, Matt Bryant 14. Everybody else on this team kind of underperformed. LeGarrette Blount 9, Des Bryant 8, Demaryius Thomas 9, Delaney Walker 5, Latavius Murray 7, and the Texans defense 9. He left 10 points to Carson Wentz on his bench and 12 points with Golden Tate. Gary Barnes 3, Chiefs defense 6, Haska 7, Snead 7, and Mohamed Sanu 4. So he did a pretty good, very good lineup. So hopefully some of his team starts slowing down because I face him next week, and I don't want to. I haven't been able to crack 100 in a while, so he's been able to crack it 2 weeks in a row. So it's gonna be very, very scary here. All right, so let's see what Team Moreno did. Eli Manning 16, Jordan Howard 17, Jay Ajayi 5, Odell Beckham 12. Julian Edelman 7, Zach Ertz 8, Doug Martin 4, Buccaneers 2, and Chandler Catanzaro 4 points. Home field advantage did not help out at all. He lost by a good 27 points. All right, so he left 13 points with Adam Vinatieri on his bench and 30 points with Brandon Cooks. That would have been the difference maker right there. Let me see, 13 points, 9, so that's 84. 30, that's 114 minus 4, 110. He would have won. So that's if we could see the future and set up a perfect lineup, Eric would have done that, and he would have won by 6 points. But obviously we can't do that. So better luck next year, Eric. All right, so I'm gonna do the um, first place battle and fifth place battle since there's the only ones that are gonna be in consideration for any money. I'm gonna do those predictions in the video. I'm gonna try to keep it under 15 minutes, guys. All right, guys. So this is first place right here. Christian Michael versus Magic Man. Steven was Team Gruntopis most of the year, and Magic Man was Darker Dale most of the year, which is Fernando. All right, so this is going to be the first place. It's going to be a 2 week first place battle, week 16 and week 17, which kind of sucks because a lot of these teams some teams already clinched divisions. For example, Tom Brady already clinched the division, and they clinched the bye, so they might not even start him. Who knows? So hopefully Fernando's taking that into consideration before this week's game start. All right, so this is Thursday night before the game starts, so some of these lineups might be changed a little bit, but let's just take a good glance here at what could happen. Mariota versus Jacksonville. Mariota, they're still playing for a playoff spot, so they really need to win. Johnson Stewart versus Atlanta. They're really not playing for anything, so they might. Oh no, actually, there's still in consideration. There's still in consideration. David Johnson, Seattle. It's a tough defense. Seattle's still playing for position. Deshaun Jackson, Chicago. I think the Redskins are still playing for position. Chicago's not playing for anything. Alshon Jeffrey, Washington. Again, they're not playing for anything. Jordan Reed, he had a really bad game last week, and I believe he got ejected too. Tevin Coleman versus Carolina. I believe Atlanta is still playing for position, but I'm not 100% sure. But they're playing against Carolina, which is a very tough defense. Um, Tom Brady might not even play. Devonta Freeman. I believe they're still playing for position, and they're playing Carolina, so it might be a little bit more of a split between him and Coleman than it was last week. Ezekiel Elliott and Detroit. Dallas already clinched. They're clinched the bye, so they have no. Actually, they clinched, but they have not clinched the bye, so they can still lose out to Giants. So they have to win these next two games. They have to win. If the Giants win, Dallas has to win. Rashard Matthews against Jacksonville. Again, Titans are still playing for his position, so this is a good game for Matthews. Sterling Shepard versus Philadelphia. Again, Giants are still playing for positioning, so they want to win. Greg Olsen, Atlanta. Greg Olsen's gonna do good. Deion Lewis. All right, this is where it could get tricky. If Tom Brady sits, are they gonna sit the running backs? Are they gonna let Deion Lewis play? Are they gonna let Aaron Blunt play? Are they gonna let James White play and let Deion Lewis play? Who knows? So these benches are going to be changed up a little bit, and it's going to go any way possible. It could go. Deion Lewis could get 3 carries at the beginning of the game, and then get set down the rest of the game, and James White plays the remaining of the game. Now, James White did play a majority of the year because of the Deion Lewis injury. Do they want to get Deion Lewis back to, I don't know, game ready shape for the playoffs? Who knows? Do they sit Lewis because they don't want him getting injured, and they let White play? Do they say they want White instead of Lewis? All of this can go on a bunch of different ways because the Patriots already clinched first place and everything. So that it could go either way. So let's check out what's going to happen in the third place bracket. All right, Taco Corp versus Support Fat YouTube channel. All right, so these guys both lost in week 1, so they're in position for third place. Unfortunately, third place is not getting any money, so they might not even care no more. But I'd rather say that I was in third place than I was in last place or whatever. So I was ranked tied for 11 and 12 in this week, but I'm in position to be in fifth place. So it pays off. It pays off to still keep paying attention. All right. This one's gonna be a little bit difficult here. Oh, and then to predict who will win, I'm thinking probably my Christian Michael, unless Fernando starts somebody else other than Brady and Deion Lewis. Is just you don't know what's gonna happen there. All right, Rogers, Murray, Kelly, Jameson Crowder, Inman. All right, for Frank Gore. All right, Green Bay still wants to win. Tennessee still needs to win. They need to win. San Diego's not playing for anything. Kelly and Crowder are still playing for position. Cincinnati's not playing for anything. Indiana's still playing for the playoffs. All right, so I like Taco's team. Let's see Garza's team. Washington's still playing for position. KC wants to get the bye. Denver still needs to get the win. LA's not playing for anything. Tampa Bay still playing for position. Indiana still playing for position. All right. So both. All right. Welcome back, guys. All right. So I always try to keep it under 15 minutes, but I just keep talking, man. All right. So ran out of 15. It's a 15-minute recorder thing for the free recorder. All right. So Taco Corp versus Support YouTube FATT. These guys are playing for third place. I both of these guys have a lot of players still in position, and with their teams is still in position for the playoffs. They're still trying to either clinch, get the bye, solidify the division, or whatever, or even get into the playoffs with the wild card. So it's gonna be really tough to see who's gonna win here. Um, I'm thinking Taco Corp only because he has Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers has underproduced, and they're relying really heavy on the run. That's why Tom Montgomery did so good last week. All right, so I don't know. I think Taco was gonna win, man. Sorry, Garza. All right, so finally, the most important game of the week. Me, the never-ending changing rules versus Suicide Squad. All right, so George is on a roll. He scored 200 points the last 2 weeks. I barely even cracked 150. So let's hope that his teams don't produce this. His players don't produce this week. All right, I still haven't changed my lineup too much. Now I predicted Thomas Rawls was going to carry me through this, but he hasn't. It's been a combination of Andrew Luck and other players just doing a little bit. So I'm gonna cut the Jets. I'm gonna stick to Hill and Gabriel and Antonio Brown. Maybe throw in Tom Montgomery over Carlos Hyde and leave Thomas Rawls in. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's the lineup I'm gonna go with. Andrew Luck's still playing for position. So is Oakland. They can't lose. They can't afford to lose. So it's gonna be a good game. So hopefully Andrew Luck does something amazing, man. All right. Suicide Squad. I don't think the Saints are still playing for position, but they might be playing for a wild card. Pittsburgh's still playing. They want to solidify their division. They don't want to lose to the Ravens, and they play the Ravens. LeGarrette Blount's probably going to be benched. Des Bryant is probably going to play. Thomas is probably going to play. Walker is definitely going to play. Latavius Murray is going to play. All right, so he has a lot of good players on his team. He's very heavily dependent on Le'Veon Bell and Drew Brees scoring a lot of points, which could easily happen. But everybody else on his team is probably not going to do that great. Demaryius Thomas plays Kansas City. He's not going to get easy looks. Even though they're both playing for position, Kansas City is the better team. LeGarrette Blount's not going to play, so that puts him either benching LeGarrette Blount, moving up Latavius Murray, and possibly starting Willie Snead, maybe Golden Tate. Who knows? Um, I would probably go with Willie Snead if I was George, but this is George's team. I'm not going to control his team. I'm just going to give you advice on what I think he should do. So, obviously, I predict myself to win this week, but nonetheless, both of our teams have a lot of players in the playoffs hunt. So it's going to be very interesting, very fun to see. Hopefully, both high scoring games, and I don't get lapped up by George. All right, guys. Let me edit this and upload it. Hopefully, I upload it before the game starts. I seriously doubt it, but hopefully, I do. All right, guys. Have fun. I didn't review the losers or anybody under the losers bracket just because y'all suck. Sorry, guys.